What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, here we go again's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Iron Factory Asura Knights. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're looking at your shelves, you're looking at your YouTube feed, you know? And you're thinking to yourself, I wish there was some third-party content to consume in some way in regards to Dinobots. Rest assured, your thirst has been quenched. Another Dinobot set. This one is slightly different because it's based on War Within Dreamwave comics, so that's relatively cool. They're Legends class. These are on loan to me from Robert D., who is an awesome dude and a dear friend, and he let me take a look at them so I could get that information out to you guys. So yeah, this is going to be a long one because of how much we have to go through, so let's not waste a whole lot more time. If you, real quick before we get started though, size comparison wise, there's a Deluxe, there's Iron Factory's Blaster, and there's Hasbro's Power Glide. So Iron Factory scale's a little bit smaller on the Legend scale of things, just as a heads up. Accessory-wise, it actually is a little tricky keeping track of what goes to whom. But this is their Sludge, who is named Sledgehammer, I believe. And accessory-wise, he comes with this axe. And then this can also fold up this way, and I think it can even collapse. Yeah, collapse all the way. So you can have that either way you want, and as you can see, it holds it just fine, and we have the red paint on it. That's all good to go. We also have the Sledgehammer itself, and this can, of course, act as a sledgehammer. It can also be dismantled, and I believe this can even come out. Yes, into separate pieces, into 4 separate pieces. And we're going to get back to these 4 pieces. He also comes with, as far as I can tell, this as well. And we have a handle option down here that he can hold. And just so we can prove that, there we go. And then also, we're going to be dealing with this later as well. We'll set that to the side. And then this sword with the red paint on it. It is chipping in a couple places, but overall it looks pretty good. It did get out of the line as well, too. But it is a very cool sculpt. And now this fella. So we'll talk about him. Head sculpt is looking okay, I think. The head itself is on a ball peg. It gets limited down, but the swivel is intact. We do get a waist swivel. You got to kind of get this piece in the back out of the way, and then you can get the waist swivel. Just as a heads up, I did have his sword pegged into the back here, sword rather. Then he has a hinge connected to a separate hinge, which is interesting, but it's still limited range. So you get up to there and then out. You can't get out very far. And then you get the swivel, and you get a lip. No, that's it really. For the torso, you get blue paint. Here you get a metallic gray finish and a silver finish here. You also get a silver finish on the forearms. Speaking of forearms, we have a single hinged elbow getting you to 90 degrees and a wrist swivel. That all works fine. This also, these little cannons here articulate on the hinge as well. Same for the other side. We have blue paint on the chest. We have silver paint on the chest. We have silver paint on the back, and that all looks good. Waist swivel we already talked about. T-jointed ball joints for hips getting you the full Van Damme, also the full Monty front and back, and the thigh swivel below it. Knee is on a single hinge, I think. Yes, getting you 90 degrees, gold toes, silver finish on the thighs as well. There is lots of paint here. It doesn't look like it, but there actually is. And that's basically this fella in a nutshell. The ankles, you do get a toe tilt. I'm not sure if I said that, but no rocker. No rocker on any of these guys, I don't think, which is a bit of a bummer. And that's how he is from the back. As for transforming this guy, keep the hands, palms up, open up this chest piece, flip the head down, close that back up, rotate the arms around, and collapse into this little cavity here. It should tab in. And you're looking at, or maybe it does, oh yeah, I guess it does tab in. And then you fold these little cannons down and around. Flip this piece up for now. On this side, make sure that these pieces are up. Connect down here, and then these will collapse. And there's a little tab there, if you see, that goes into the pelvis, so to speak. And then you can close these back down, and then you can fold the feet, turn these around, close this down. You want the shoulders up as far as they'll go, which I think it feels like it should go one little bit further, but I'm just afraid to push it. Push it. Yeah, and then we'll set this. We'll set this to the side for a second. You take this piece that we talked about, remove that, add this back, and then you have the turret, which you can then plug in, actually in a number of ways, but they have it like this. This comes in underneath, so to speak, and then this sits up on top of there. And then I guess for the other bits, you can just kind of get them in where you see fit, and we'll take a look at all this stuff in the end as we have it configured. But I mean, it's a cool little tank mode. It's nothing special about it, but there's nothing hateful about it either. And then next up we have their Slag. He has a couple extra bits as well. I just keep them onto the forearms. That's what I found looks the coolest under the circumstances. We're going to take them off for now. We'll get back to them, believe you me. And then we have these pieces here. The gun, so single cast, nothing really to write home about. And then the sword with the red paint that we've come to expect. This one's done much better. Articulation wise for this guy, we have the red paint on the head. Let's see, let's just go through the paint real quick. Silver paint here, gunmetal paint here, which is a little sloppy slop, same on the other side, and then the silver paint on the arms for the finish, silver paint on the thighs, silver paint on the calves, gold paint on the back, as well as silver paint. So there's a lot of paint here, that's for sure. Head is on a ball peg, limited articulation, very cool face sculpt though. Waist swivel, these little turrets here, you know, kind of articulate to, and they're reminiscent of the Slag horns, right? And then we have ball pegs here on the, and you get a little bit of a reverse, I guess maybe the ever so slight butterfly joint. You get a fair reverse one, and then you get the swivel. Bicep swivel, single hinged elbow getting you 90 degrees, wrist swivel. Waist swivel, T-jointed ball joints for hips, thigh swivel, single hinged knee, getting you 90 degrees. Nothing once again for the feet. You do get a heel spur that does articulate for whatever you would possibly need that for. And then there's the back of the figure. So fairly well done overall for the scale, and fairly clean. Alright, to get him transformed, open this up, tuck the head down. This piece here is kind of frustrating. Get this out of the way. Bring this down. I've had this pop off of me a number of times as well. And basically you need to get this, this top piece is on a double set of hinges, and you need to get that straight and then get the head covered up and get that piece back. Or no, keep this down, I'm sorry. Bring up the arms on the butterfly joint in the back, which will put the fists over top of these areas here. And then you have the legs, which you split. Oh, I'm sorry, open this way, apparently. Close this piece down, bring this piece up, and then you have those two pieces that you took off that we had plugged in, and you just have to find out which one correlates to which, just to fill in the treads. Same on this side. And then fill in the treads. And then this, which actually reminds me a fair bit of Hinch. You just have to, you got to keep the thigh as is, both the hip piece and the upper thigh, and then you just rotate the treads around both while keeping them, which I failed to do. Let's try it on this side. So as you can see, hip, thigh, and then we're just going to swivel this around. And that should line up like that. I'll see if I can't get this one to do so. Might have to start over. And if that also reminds me of Hinch. I don't know if any of you guys had iGear's Hinch, but a lot of times you just end up popping off the ball peg, and you would kind of get what you needed. There. And then you take this piece here, and I guess you can have it this way. There. And yeah, that's this tank. I'm not crazy about this. This doesn't feel great, but it works. I mean, I could spend more time making sure it was all straightened up and tightened out and all that kind of stuff. And I guess I would want, really, I would want these to be up so that I could then plug these in and store. Good. And then we have Snarl. We have signature type of gun, single cast. We have the sword, red paint, as we've come to expect. We also have his signature back spike bits. They're on a hinged swivel, like a universal joint of sorts in the back. We're going to unplug them because we need to for transformation anyway, but there is nice gold paint on them. And then the face has silver paint here. Kind of chintzy on the paint on this one, it seems. Silver paint, blue paint. I mean, it's there. It's just not as much finish, it feels like, as some of the other ones. Gold paint finish here, so maybe I'm just off there. Ball peg head gets you pretty much the swivel, limited up, limited down. Waist swivel, you can move this out of the way to get the full range. No problems there. We got a hinge joint here at the torso. That gets the arm up and out. And then you have this swivel, which probably is a ball peg, but I'm not 100% sure. Bicep swivel. Elbow gets you 90 degrees. Wrist. Oh, no wrist swivel there. That's strange. Same on the other side. T-jointed ball joints for hips, getting you the full Van Damme and the full Monty, no problems. Thigh swivel. Single hinge knee, getting you 90 degrees. And then once again, nothing for the feet. And the back of the figure cleans up very well. Alright, let's get him transformed. Open up here. Fold in the hands. We'll do the same on the other side. Fold in the hands. Close up. And then we're going to lift this piece up here. We're going to turn that around. And then we're going to open up these pieces. And we're going to flip this all the way around. We can tab that back down at the bottom and tab these in as well. We can close that. We can bring this over the headpiece. Then we want to, this gets a little stuck there. Down, and you want to have this so that the spikes match up. So bring that down, and then why am I not being? Why am I not? There you go. Same on this side. Why is it giving me such problems? No, it's got something to do with the hand. Oh well. There we go. And then you can have these pieces here on the side, or like this, I guess. Whatever you want to do. It's your imagination. And I guess you could even have them up into the back if you wanted. It might look a little more wicked. And we'll put this in there, and we'll put this in there. And it rolls, and it's tank-ish, right? Fine. As for Swoop, we have his signature back cannons, which he can hold. Red paint applied to them, as we've come to expect it, with the swords on the barrels of the missile launchers, and they look great. The red is most of the red paint that they've applied throughout this set is really well done, as is the silvers, I might add. Speaking of silver, tons of silver paint on the wings and on the legs. 2 shades, the lighter kind of chainmail silver and then the gunmetal silver. We'll take the sword out. Head is on a ball peg, limited up, limited down with the swivel. Shoulders are on ball pegs, you get out to there, so no problems. And then the swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, it appears, yes. I'm getting you just a little bit past 90 degrees though. Nothing for the wrist. Waist you can open and get a little bit, not a ton though. I think enough to get by, but not ideal. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you the Van Damme and the full Monty, and then thigh swivel, knee gets you 90 degrees on a single hinge, and then we get a toe tilt and a heel tilt, and that is it. And then the back cleans up very well, I'd say. Alright, I gotta get my other kid off the bus in like a couple minutes, so let's see what we can do. You want to bring this piece out and down. Then you want to split Swoop's head, and I do have a severe stress mark there, so be mindful of that between the crest and the hinge. Rotate this up on the backside, bring the arms around, and you want to have it so the circular pegs are on the outside. As you do so, double hinge them up so that they make this L, and then rotate them all around and they'll tab back into the underside of the body. So we'll do that again. Butterfly back, and then rotate up so that we're making an L here with the circle on the outside and the peg up, and then rotate back so that the pegs into the back there. And then you want to split these, the hips rather, bring down Swoop's head, so to speak, rotate here at the thigh, collapse these, and then spin this all the way around. We're using this notch here, and we're tabbing in the wings into it. So, swivel, collapse, spin back around, tab into it. And then you can kind of straighten this out a little bit. There. And that's that. And then of course you can open the wings if you want. You know, you can do whatever you'd like. It's your world. You bought it. You can have them up like this, maybe. And then we have Grimlock with signature sword with red paint, as we've come to expect, and double barrel blaster and single cast once again. I think. Either way, no paint applied. The head, we got red paint on there, and it's on a ball joint. We get the swivel, once again, not much up or down. Gold finish here, it is chipping, be mindful. Silver paint, gray paint. Silver finish throughout. And then gold accents, and then dark gray accents, which look really good, especially these dark pipes here. These here are on ball pegs, and then these are on swivels as well, so you can kind of get this however you want it for the sake of posing and what have you, so that's nice. We have a ball peg here for the shoulder, get you out to there. You got a little bit of a reverse butterfly, not much, and then, ooh, that's tight. It's tight clearance here. Elbow swivel just above, so it counts, and then 90-degree elbow hinge, and then wrist swivel. Same on both sides. We got gold accents there as well. Waist swivel, T-jointed ball joints for hips. They get you the full Van Damme once again. And ooh, let's see if we can't work around that. Nah, you can't really work around that, so you don't get much back, but you can get forward pretty much the full range. Thigh swivel, single hinge knee, once again toe tilt, but no ankle rocker or anything of that nature. And that's this fella. Transformation wise, you just want to kind of line up these treads. It feels like this should collapse somehow, but I don't see a way for it to. I don't know. So same on this side. You want to spin this around, and then you want to have so that the flat piece of the hand is on the outside, and then twist the legs, the hips rather, at the waist swivel. Bring this up here, bring the whole chest piece up, and then bring your backpack down and encapsulate the head, and then make sure that these pieces here are up in the back and just collapse. They kind of rock down as a heads up, and then peg in together, close this, flip these pieces up, and let's see here, that tabs in, that tabs in, and you've got your tank. And we'll go ahead and arm it up a little bit. Good to go. Only thing that this one is a little strange. This one I feel like maybe I've done something. It feels like something should happen here, but I don't see any way to close in these gaps. So this is just going to have to do. But all in all, it's comic accurate, and it's not hateful. Let's take a look at them all together. And it's not bad. You know, I think that, I mean, I dig the whole Cybertronian thing and all that kind of stuff, and there's an element of coolness to it. And of course I've armed it up to be absurd. You could take some of the armaments off and make it look a little bit better, but I think, like, call me old school or call me stuck in my ways or whatever, but I think I'm just seeing this, because I like War Within and I like that whole bit, but just looking at this, like, I think my Dinobots need to be dinosaurs. That's just maybe who I am. Anyway, they look decent together though as a team, and I can appreciate it for what it is. Final thoughts wise, okay, so here's the bad. There is a lot of paint on them, so there is also some paint chipping issues along the way. Couple stress marks along the way, and no ankle rocker on the whole set, so you kind of gotta have them in an A stance, which isn't the worst option. If it's gonna be any stance, I'd prefer it to be the A stance, but it's a little bit of a bummer. And then subjectively, the alt modes just don't mean anything to me. But that's the only negatives. There's plenty of positives to boot. The materials are great. There's paint everywhere. The accessories are cool. And the cool thing about this set that I gotta say is that all of their engineering is unique. Like, it really does feel like you bought 5 different bots. I feel like a lot of times you buy a set like this and you feel like you bought 2 different bots, maybe 3, and then the other 2 kind of borrow from the others. This does feel like 5 unique, independent, individual pieces of engineering, and I do applaud them for that, because that makes a purchase like this much more enjoyable. So I think it's like a $125 set or something like that. That seems it seems about right. They feel about like $25 a piece. So do I recommend them? Yes, as long as you like the War Within aesthetic and you want a representation of the War Within on your shelf. I can say that having them in hand, I was afraid that even without a strong connection to War Within, and I like War Within, but without a strong connection to it, I was going to feel the need to buy them, and I can tell you, having them in hand, having messed with them, I still don't feel the need to own these guys. So make sure that you have a strong connection to the aesthetics and to the characters, and if you do, I think that this will be money well spent. A couple issues, couple things to watch out for, a couple things to look out along the way, but overall a pretty enjoyable and rewarding experience. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching, until next time, take care. Oh, before we go, Swoop has these landing gear. I didn't point those out. See ya.